Hello again, I'm Dave Apsley. I'm a forester and a natural resources specialist with Ohio State University Extension. Today I'm on the Colton Wildlife Area, which is located in Jackson County near Colton, Ohio. The Colton Wildlife Area is managed by the ODNR Division of Wildlife. And today I'd like to introduce you to another sumac. This is staghorn sumac. Staghorn sumac can be found throughout much of Ohio. It's got a little bit more of a northern distribution than the other sumacs that we've introduced, but it can be found in most counties here in Ohio. It's probably not as common as the smooth sumac or even the winged sumac, which probably has a little bit more of a southern range. So the staghorn sumac is very much like smooth sumac in many ways, but there are some key differences. So let's introduce you to staghorn sumac. First of all, like the other sumacs, it has an alternate leaf arrangement. So these leaves will be arranged in an alternate fashion. They're not paired. These leaves are compound. So they're what we call pinnately compound. They have a central rachis that runs down the center and then leaflets on both sides. Leaves can be anywhere from about 18 inches to 2 feet. These are right in that lower end of the range, and they can have anywhere from 11 to 31 leaflets. The most I counted on this sample was 23. They're close to, the larger ones are close to the 24-inch range. These leaflets are paired along the rachis. They have a serrated margin or edge, so you'll have fairly sharp looking teeth along the edge, and these leaflets can be between 3 and 5 inches in length. And then typically we have a terminal leaflet as well. So it's very similar to the smooth sumac. In fact, the size and the number of leaflets are the same, but a key difference is this rachis. This rachis typically has this velvety hairiness to it. You'll see these short velvety hairs along the length of the rachis, which is a key difference between it and smooth sumac, which does not have the hairy rachis. The twig is also different in that the smooth sumac has a glossy surface. It's actually coated by a waxy bloom or coating, and when we polish that surface, it'll become shiny, where this one is again covered with these short velvety hairs. And in fact, that's where it gets its name staghorn sumac, because it somewhat resembles the antlers of a deer when it's in velvet before those antlers mature and that velvet is polished off later in the year. So again, the stem is covered with short velvety hairs. You'll have a leaf scar that almost completely encircles this bud, which is sunken down within the twig. And then the pith, if we were to cut into the pith, it's going to be a little darker in color. It's going to be spongy, very similar to the smooth sumac, but it's going to have more of a darkish, almost a dark yellowish brown colored pith or center. When we look at the fruit, it's very similar to the other sumacs. It's an upright cluster of fruits. They're actually drupes, so they're single-seeded. They'll be in this upright fashion. They can be much taller than this one. This one's only about 3 inches tall. But again, these fruits or these drupes are actually covered with these velvety hairs as well. So again, velvety hairs on the rachis, on the twig, and on the cluster of fruits near the terminus or the tip of the twig. So those are great ID characteristics to separate this from the smooth sumac. This can be a fairly large tree. It typically can get much larger than smooth sumac. Smooth sumac is listed in the keys as getting 10 to 12 feet tall. This one it says will be 25 feet in height or so, and this one's probably every bit of 25 feet in height. It's about 4 inches in diameter in this specimen. The stems that you see to my left are also part of this same kind of clone of this species, and there are several stems here, and I don't know if you can see it, but to my right is a larger one that's at least 8 inches in diameter. So it can be almost tree-like, probably be classified as a small tree. The bark is somewhat grayish or brownish gray, but it'll have pronounced lineals up and down on the bark that are pretty distinct as well. So again, this is staghorn sumac, fairly common in Ohio, but not nearly as common here in southern Ohio as the winged sumac or the smooth sumac. But the key characteristics are velvety hairy fruit, twigs, and rachis on these compound leaves. Thank you so much for your time, and please take at least part of your day to enjoy it in the woods.